Muses need vessels. There seems to be certain attributes and conditions that the Muses archetype finds more appealing than others. The nature of these qualities can differ for each person, or, as I like to look at it, for each vessel the Muses choose for their purposes. People don't choose Muses. Muses choose their own vessels. We don't own the Muses. They are not my Muses. They are not your Muses. They are the Muses. The Muses work through us and then discard their vessels when we cease to be useful or cease to be appealing to them. Muses run their own impersonal, autonomous agendas beyond the control and comprehension of anyone courting their favor. Note to self: the Muses can be fussy, fickle entities. Do not expect consistency. Stay receptive. So, I see three types of Muse vessels. Creatives, those who live creative lives, but don't necessarily produce art. Almost all children are creatives. Artists, those who produce art or call themselves artists. And then there are creative artists, those whose art develops from living creatively, whether they call themselves artists or not. All three vessels represent individuals who sometimes project archetypal Muse status onto others by mythologizing anyone who looks or behaves like a Muse to them. Though these psychic projections can initially arouse romantic, erotic, intoxicating and inspiring emotions, they can also lead to disastrous interpersonal relations. What mortal can live up to anyone's exalted Muse ideal? Note to self: one does not marry the Muse. Don't romance or mythologize or worship the Muses. The Muse beckons me towards the unattainable. When the Muse strikes and takes hold, I sometimes feel beside myself, possessed of a kind of madness. Not insanity exactly, it's more like this joyous, gleeful obsession, like a moth sputtering around an open flame. My heart flutters, takes flight towards the impossible, in a fever dream, in flaming amour fou, mad love. The inner mounting flames of Muse-inspired passion or obsession consumes everything and everyone in its wake. I lament the broken hearts and ruined lives of all the men, women, and children charred by the creative firestorms of my own Muse projections and obsessions. I am guilty here. Note to self. Court the Muses, not as a lover, but as an interaction with the mysteries. Muses are not always kind, wonderful, and loving. They can be ruthless, severe, and unforgiving. Courting the Muses can sometimes feel like falling madly deeply in love, a delirium ravaging the soul, my soul, like a rag doll tilt-a-whirling in a gale force wind, and in this feral astral theater, the Muses witness my little drama with high indifference. No matter how inspiring or stimulating, their influence creates its own unique stresses on the instrument of self. If I fall sick or suffer pain or collapse and die, the Muses don't care. They simply move on to their next available vessel. The Muses don't care about what happens to me. They only care about how well their presence finds expression through their vessels. If I do not care for the health and maintenance of my instrument of self, the vessel, I become useless to the Muses. Note to self. Treat the Muses with the same indifference they treat me. To stay related with the Muses, it's my responsibility to maintain the instrument of self. Stay healthy.
Dum